When we signed Bruno, we weren't sort of sure if he was as good as what Paqueta was, etc., etc. Bruno has turned out to be an absolute magnificent signing for Newcastle United. And this has been bolstered by his performances since he's arrived at the club. He's been given an award the other night. And after that award, he's spoken out about all the rumours and where he wants to be and where he sees himself being in years to come, which is absolutely fantastic for us. Eddie Howe has also spoken about the England job, so a very interesting interview regarding that. Brazil interim coach has also said Joelinton is well and truly on the radar, and could we be in for Mason Mount? Let's have a look at it all. This is the Daily News. Hi there, everybody. I'm Paul back again, and Daily News today is quite mega. Bruno, who Real Madrid have been interested in for a long time, and everybody thinking, will he be part of this for very long? What does Bruno want from his time at Newcastle United? Does he see himself being here for years to come? And the answer to all that is yes. He wants to be here. He wants to win trophies. He wants to be part of this football club. Now, the first thing he said was that he wants to stay here for a very long time. His family are happy here, of course. And what he makes the most out of and what he seems to be so proud of is that his son Matteo is a Geordie. And he will say that every time he gets interviewed about the North East and whether he wants to stay and things like that. So it's fabulous news. It really is. Then he went on to say he believes that the club will be a Champions League regular for years to come. And, this is a bit even bigger bit, become a giant of world football. Now, Bruno obviously knows what's going on behind the scenes. Bruno has obviously been told about what the plans are for Newcastle United. I'm pretty much sure that he'll have been told that we are going to build a squad around him because he is a fantastic footballer. Let's not beat around the bush here. He is incredible. And with world-class players around him as well, he will only get better and better. And I think that's what probably Bruno has been told. Now, he hasn't signed this mysterious new contract yet. He is contracted, I think, 2026 anyway. But Newcastle will want to tie him down to a very, very long-term deal. There is no doubt about that. This guy is needed at Newcastle for as long as we can possibly have him. And for me, he's just an incredible, incredible footballer. To say that Newcastle United are going to become a giant of world football, it's a big, big statement to make considering where we're at the minute. And we know we're not at the level of a Manchester City, a Liverpool, or clubs like that yet. But we are chasing them, and we are getting close. We are getting close, but it will take a bit of time. And I think, a lot of fans have been restless over the last few weeks because of reform, saying incredibly stupid things, quite honestly. However, we march on, and let's be honest, Bruno he's come out and praised Eddie Howe. We all think, Eddie Howe, is he going to be good enough? Of course he's good enough. Of course he's good enough. And these players absolutely adore Eddie Howe, and he's got them all believing in what he wants to do. Because Bruno wanted to say that he predicted that one day Eddie Howe will be England manager. And I think, if we're openly honest as Newcastle United fans, we would say, Eddie Howe would be a perfect England manager. Graham Potter, although he's not having a great time at Chelsea at the minute, he's another one who could become a massive, massive manager for England. I don't think he should have gone to Chelsea, but I've mentioned that before in the past. And I think he should have stayed at Brighton. However, Bruno said that Eddie will be an England manager one day, and he described him as an amazing man and manager. Now, this is one of the best players we have at the club, one of the best midfielders in the country in Bruno, and that is what he has to say about Eddie Howe. Now, obviously, he's not going to come out and say, "Oh, Eddie's this, Eddie's that," and slag him off. We didn't. You can tell the belief that these football players have in our manager right now, and Bruno, being the spearhead of that, is the he's the main man. We are going to build a squad around him. I don't think there's any doubt in that, and I don't think there's any doubt that Bruno's been told that himself, that we are going to build something around him, and the spine of the team is going to be Bruno, which is, for me, as a Newcastle fan, and hopefully for all you guys out there as well, very, very exciting, because this is big news. It's put to bed a lot of the garbage that's floating around on the news channels saying he's going here, he's going there, he's unhappy, he's not... It's all bollocks, guys. It's all bollocks. And I think Bruno's, really put a lot of minds at rest with this interview. Now, he had a conversation with Pep Guardiola at Man City at the weekend, and everybody was thinking, oh, Guardiola's, he's tapping him up, he's wanting to sign him and things like that. And Bruno's put to bed that conversation as well. Basically, all he said was Pep came up to him and said that he's a great player, he had a good game, and he's had a great season, and wished him well. That was all the conversation was. And Bruno said that he felt very proud that Pep would take the time to come over to him and say that to him, and it gives him a lot of motivation and desire to do even better. And, for Pep Guardiola, that's brilliant, because, again, everybody false claims that, he's wanting Bruno, he's tapping him up and all this kind of stuff. Why can't an opposition manager go over and praise another player and say, oh, well done today, you're a good player, you've had a great season, and wish him well? That's kind of the guy that Pep Guardiola is, and we've seen that over many, many months and many years, and especially when he's talked about Newcastle United. And I think that's because of I think there's a Bobby Robson aspect there. Obviously, Pep had a lot to say in the Bobby Robson documentary and knows his ties to Newcastle United. And I think Pep is always going to be very complimentary and very respectful of Newcastle United because of Sir Bobby Robson. But for Pep to come out and say that is brilliant. For Bruno then to come out and say, look, I'm at Newcastle and I want to be here for years and years to come. I want to win things, and this club is going to be a giant of world football. That's not a player who wants to leave the football club. So all the media stuff about, Real Madrid are going to nick him and all of this kind of stuff, it's rubbish, guys. It really is. Bruno seems like a very, very honest guy, a very wholehearted character. And he certainly wouldn't come out and bull rot anybody, you know what I mean? He's a genuine guy. And you can tell his love for the club. When he's talking about Newcastle, you can tell his love for it. So, great news from Bruno this morning. And also from Eddie Howe, a very interesting conversation. He basically has spoken out about the England job. And first of all, he praised Gareth Southgate for the work he's done. And he said, I say it from the bottom of my heart, he's done really well with England. You look at where England was when he took over the international job and how well he's done since then. And if you do look back at Southgate's turnaround, yes, he's done really well. I think Eddie Howe is quite close friends with Gareth Southgate, as it was proved a few weeks ago when Southgate came to the training ground. Not all of us feel that way about Gareth Southgate, I think it's safe to say. Certainly some of the football that he plays. But Eddie, very respectful, as you'd expect Eddie Howe to be. But he also said never say never, never say no. He said, but in the short term, it isn't on the radar. Now, short term could be anything, guys. That could be 3, 4, 5 years. It could be 2 years. But Eddie Howe will want to complete this project at Newcastle United. There is absolutely no doubt about that. He is fully fledged into this. He says he loves the day-to-day coaching. And at this moment, the England job isn't something I want to do. And, we've always seen that about Eddie. We've spoke about this when the England job's been mentioned and thinking, Eddie Howe seems to be that man who just loves going in on a daily basis and training with the players. And would he struggle with being England manager by just going to sit and watch football games and then only have the squad together every couple of months for a few days training here and there, and then obviously away for a few weeks in tournaments? I don't think Eddie would want to do that, certainly at his stage of his managerial career. You forget Eddie Howe is still very, very young. He's got a lot of years left in managerial terms, a lot of years left. So England, he could think 20 years down the line before he wants the England job. He wants to prove himself at Newcastle. He wants to win something at Newcastle. So for me, I'm not worried about Eddie Howe at all going to England just yet. Now, the Brazilian interim boss has spoken regarding Joelinton. Joelinton was highly backed to be in this latest Brazilian squad, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. And it seems like Brazil, for this squad that they've picked now, are going with a lot of youngsters, a lot of players who were playing in Brazil and giving them an opportunity. But what the interim boss has said is that he is very much 100% on the radar for Brazil. He described Joelinton as a great player and definitely on the radar for Brazil. So it'll be very interesting in the next couple of Brazilian squads to see if Joelinton is actually included in them. But I think it's certainly just around the corner, guys. And finally, the Mail have reported that Newcastle are going to be stepping up their approach for Mason Mount in the summer. This has come around in a few media outlets in the last week or so, that we are interested in Mason Mount, but also Liverpool are. Liverpool have stressed an interest as well. However, they do believe that with Newcastle United's wealth and the power that they've got behind them, they can outbid Liverpool and basically take him from under the carpet of Liverpool. Now, obviously, it depends where Mason Mount as a player would want to go as well. You know, I think media forget that as well. They just think, oh, Newcastle United, they've got plenty of money, they can outbid Liverpool. But it all depends on where Mason Mount wants to go himself. Does he actually want to leave Chelsea? Does he not? Does he want to, battle for his place at Chelsea? Does he want to go somewhere else where he can possibly win things? Does he want to be part of Newcastle's project? It's very interesting to see what will happen in the summer, guys, but I think we're in for a very exciting time either way. But there you go. That is the daily news for you. Let me know in the comments, as usual, what you think. What do you think about Bruno's comments? Has it put your mind at rest that he's going to be a pivotal figure in Newcastle United colours for years to come? Eddie Howe in England, of course. What do you think of that? And is Joelinton ready for Brazil? And Mason Mount, what do you think of him? He's not having a great season this year, but would you welcome him to Newcastle United? Lots to get on with in the comments, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this on the Tuesday, don't forget Fan Forum at 8 o'clock tonight. If you have enjoyed the video, hit that like button, guys. It really does help us build the channel. And of course, if you're new, come and be part of the community on the Toon Review. Hit the subscribe button, which is free to do so. And also that bell, which will let you know when we go live, we upload, and we schedule in any shows. But thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, guys. Take care.